MLB World Champion Dodgers. And now, here's your host, Bots.
What up, what up? It's another Saturday, another edition of the W.E.S.T podcast. I'm your host, Mots. Happy to be here, blessed to see another day. And I'm glad that y'all were blessed to see another day and see this episode of the podcast. So without any further ado, let's just get right into it. I want to start off by giving a shout out to the U.S. Men's FIFA World Cup soccer team with a dominating win over Paraguay yesterday. My boy Folarin Balogun, I know I butchered his name, scoring 2 goals. People saying he's the second coming of Ronaldo, a Ronaldo clone maybe. So looks like the U.S. has a chance to make a run this year in the World Cup. So I'm looking forward to watching the USA do their thing, and let's say go U.S. Got my jersey on today, supporting. So also, I've been thinking this week is just funny. I know God, doesn't have favorites, and I know Jesus loves all the little children. But you can make an argument that God is partial to LA, the West Coast. As far as sports goes, I mean, think about it. He brought us LeBron. He brought us Luka. He brought us Mookie Betts. He brought us Shohei Ohtani. Brought us Matthew Stafford, and now Myles Garrett. That is every LA, forget the Clippers, the Chargers, and the Angels, but every LA team he's brought stars to. So, I mean, coincidence? I don't think so. All right, so I want to get into something new that I kind of started in my own head, and it's called reckless speculation. And I want to make it part of the top news. So let's get into that.
The big story of the week was this.
All right. So, first of all, the news. So, according to Max Everett of WrestlingInc.com, the lawsuit involving former WWE employee Janelle Grant, who is suing Vince McMahon in a case that started in January 2024, accusing McMahon of sexual abuse and sex trafficking. Apparently, that might move to what's called private arbitration. So this week, all parties released a joint statement saying that they seek relief in good faith to avoid unnecessary consumption of the courts and the parties' resources. So what that means is they want to make the case private so that nothing gets out to the public. There's no cameras or recordings allowed in. All the documents will be sealed and made private, so people like me, media journalists, can't get in and tell y'all what's going on. So that's what that means. Take it as you want. Also, former WWE superstar Lars Sullivan has been back on social media attacking Big E, former member of the New Day, according to WrestlingNews.com's Ryan Clark. In the article, Clark talks about or quotes Lars Sullivan saying Big E is an anti-white racist and his neck break was karma. And for those of you that don't know, Big E was part of the New Day, and years ago during the match, he got hit in the back of the neck when a chair was thrown, an office chair with the wheels on the bottom was thrown and hit him on the back of the neck, and it caused the break in his neck. Luckily, they were able to surgically repair Big E's neck, but he was not able to wrestle again. He's now part of the WWE's pre and post premium live event broadcast team or broadcast panel, which he's done a very good job at, and he still does a lot of work in the minority community, black community, work for social justice, work for Black Lives Matter. So He and the New Day, they're very much active in that aspect with the WWE and in their own privately. And Lars is just unfortunately a misguided soul. He probably needs Jesus, and in fact, I'm sure he needs Jesus. And just making dumb remarks or has nothing better to do than attack, racially another former, coworker. And according to Ryan Clark, this is not Lars's first time doing this. He's been attacking the New Day, been attacking, Biggie. He was fined when he was working for WWE actively. He was fined $100,000 for going on message boards making racist and homophobic and other offensive comments. So I hope you get some help, Lars. I hope you find the error in your ways and you're able to do better. Just do better, Lars. So anyway, getting into reckless speculation. So when I'm just scrolling, when I have a free minute or I'm about to go to bed, I hear things or see posts or see reels or whatever, and there's no credit to them. There's no writer, no site, no publishing or no blog that's like cited for this news. It's just people speculating amongst content creators. So this is my reckless speculation. It has no basis, no sources, just some stuff that I scrolled past, and it kind of makes sense, and it doesn't seem too far off enough for me to aggregate it, I should say. So number one, there are a number of reports and a number of sightings of Zilla Fatu at the WWE Performance Center this past week, which could mean that he has either signed a deal with WWE or is close to signing a deal, and they're getting him ready to be put into the rotation on the roster. Number two, Keith Lee, who has been out of AEW for years, is possibly nearing a comeback in very, very, very soon. I've been hearing reports that he was injured like a little over a year ago. I'd say maybe a year, almost 2 years ago, maybe. He was out injured and he rehabbed and was ready to come back, but AEW wasn't ready to have him on TV yet. So they had him just sitting at home, and now they're saying that AEW's getting ready to bring him back. So that's what I'm hearing. That's just reckless speculation. So I don't know what type of week that Zilla and Keith Lee are having, but one show is all right. So this is the part of the show where I tell you what's going on in all of the major wrestling promotions. It's hard because wrestling is on Saturday through Saturday, just about every night of the week, and keeping up with all those shows, because most of them are like 2 hours long, is hard. The one thing that you need to know what's going on in that particular show is just watch the main event, which comes at the end of the show. So I'm going to tell you what happened in the main event of each show, starting with Saturday, Collision, which is on at TNT at 5 p.m. You had Hazuki from Stardom coming, and she defeated CMLL's women's champion, Persephone, to advance in the Owen Hart Women's Tournament. So for those of you that don't know what the Owen Hart Tournament is, it's a tournament that AEW has every year in honor of Bret Hart's younger brother, Owen, who was very well liked and loved in the wrestling community. So that's a tournament put on in his honor. The winner of the tournament, the men's and women's, will go on to All In and actually have a match for the title. So that's going to be interesting to watch. After the match, Mercedes Moné, who came back as a wild card because Willow Nightingale injured her shoulder before the tournament, couldn't compete. Mercedes Moné last week defeated Alex Windsor to advance in the tournament, but she attacked Persephone because Persephone, as you may not know, Mercedes Moné at one point in time had about 12 belts, literally 12 championships from Japan, from AEW, from Mexico. one of those championships was the CMLL Women's Championship, which Persephone beat her for. So the fact that Persephone lost and won't face Mercedes, it's going to be Hazuki since Hazuki won. She attacked Persephone after the match, and Hazuki came back to help Persephone out from being attacked by Mercedes Moné. And if y'all remember, Mercedes Moné used to be Sasha Banks in WWE. That takes us to Monday Night Raw, which is on Netflix at 5 p.m. They're just now getting back in the United States. You had Javon Evans, and what I mean by they're just now getting back into the United States, when they go overseas, the time of the shows change because they're in different time zones. So for instance, normally it would come on at 5 o'clock, but now it would come on at 11 o'clock because it's like overseas in Europe. So Javon Evans defeated Seth Rollins, Ricky Saints, and Tala Tonga to advance in their King of the Ring tournament. And the winner of the King of the Ring tournament is actually going to go on to SummerSlam to have a title match. So WWE and AEW, they're kind of paralleling each other, and I kind of like it. So basically, Seth had Ricky Saints pinned, and Javon Evans took advantage of Braun Breaker coming down and basically spearing Seth. So that was kind of, I don't know if Javon meant to do it, but I know Javon's been frustrated because he's been losing a lot. And of the three that he got called up with, Obafemi and Trick Williams, he's kind of been doing the worst. And he's kind of like the smallest and the scrawniest. So he's got to use his agility to, win matches. And so your boy's bouncy, and he's bouncing on to the next round. So anyway, that takes us to Tuesday's NXT, which is on the CW at 5 p.m. You had Zarya defeating Tatum Paxley to become the new Women's North American Championship. She defeated her clean. And if you don't know, Zarya's from Australia, and she's a bigger woman. And so she uses Brock Lesnar's F5 as her finisher. So she is kind of comparable to, Brock Lesnar. She uses the F5 and she uses a spear. And she caught Tatum Paxley with an F5 and a spear clean to become the new Women's North American Championship. And on Wednesday, you know what that means. It's Dynamite. Wednesdays on TBS at 5 p.m. You had Swerve defeating Brody King to advance in the men's Owen Hart tournament. He is going to take on Will Ospreay at Forbidden Door on June 28th. And the winner of that match will go on to face whoever the AEW champion is at All In on August 30th. All right, TNA. You had quite a bit going down in TNA. They had a TNA World Title match, like right out the gate. First match, Santana defeated Eric Young to keep his TNA Championship. And during the match, Eric Young tried to take advantage of the referee getting knocked out. And out comes Ricky Sosa. And he's back from being pile driven by Eric Young a few months back, right after he signed to TNA. The distraction of Ricky Sosa coming back was enough that Santana picked up the win over Eric Young. And then after the match, Nick Nemeth, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler, came out and saying that he's not gonna, he could have came out while Santana was hurt from having a match. He could have called his shot because he won the Call Your Shot Battle Royal, which means you get a shot at whatever title whenever you want, you call your shot. So he said he's not going to call his shot. He's going to basically set up the match to face Santana for the TNA title at Slammiversary on June 28th. So also coming out of that match, Ricky Sosa will be facing Eric Young at Slammiversary on June 28th also to get some get back for that pile driver. Now, the main event was Casey Navarro facing Mustafa Ali for the TNA National Championship. And Casey Navarro asked Nick Nemeth and Santana to watch his back in case, Mustafa Ali had order for interfere. The match ended cleanly when Mustafa Ali made Casey Navarro submit, but after the match, Order 4 did try and attack Navarro, which Nick Nemeth and Santana did help him out, bail him out, but Nick Nemeth ended up blindsiding Santana with the Danger Zone, which was formerly known as the Zigzag, his finishing move in WWE. So that was TNA. And then SmackDown, Friday nights on the USA Network at 5 p.m. In the beginning of the show, you had Jacob Fatu coming up to Solo Sikoa and giving him a message from Roman Reigns telling Solo that Roman wants Jacob to come home, basically join the bloodline. And although Solo gave him a no, it wasn't a hard no, and basically said, if Roman wants to get me back home, tell him to come get me himself. And a little bit later on in the show, Tama Tonga met up with Finn Balor, and Tama Tonga welcomed Finn Balor because this is his first episode on SmackDown since leaving the Judgment Day and beating Dominic Mysterio. And that's a reunion of the original members of Bullet Club. 2 of the 4 original members right there in WWE. So if Solo goes back to Roman in the bloodline, where does that leave the MFTs? Tama Tonga and his brother Tala Tonga. Well, there's that opening for a Bullet Club reunion, and that's what I'm hoping for. Finn Balor, formerly known as Prince Devitt, and the bad boy Tama Tonga, the original members of Bullet Club. But I'm thinking they don't have, AJ Styles anymore. They don't have Gallows and Anderson. So I'm thinking it could be Finn Balor, Tama Tonga, Tala Tonga, and then maybe the tag team champs, Damian Priest and R-Truth, the new Bullet Club. That might be something. Because Finn and Damian Priest had words. I mean, they were kind of like, frenemies. Happy to see you, not happy to see you. So let's keep watch on that. And in the main event, Jey Uso defeated Finn Balor, LA Knight, and Royce Keys to advance in the King of the Ring tournament. But the one show that is TNA Impact is living its best week this weekend because although AEW Dynamite has been doing it because they combine Collision and Dynamite for like one big super show, I think for the fact that TNA is only on for like an hour and something to 2 hours max, they got a lot into that show. Like I said, the title match at the beginning, Casey Navarro, who they're pushing, who got a title shot. In the middle, you had the Hardy Boys losing in the Wicked Garden match addressed against the Righteous. There was a lot in that TNA show. So TNA living their best week. When we come back, we're going to have Mott Sports West, see what you watching, do a little food and travel. See you when you get back.
Has bad credit been holding you back from getting a new car, a house, or a better job? Visit creditrepairfolks.com. They offer one-on-one consulting and will give you a personal roadmap to removing negative items and adding positive points to your credit score. The first consultation is free, and they're the only ones that offer a money-back guarantee. They also have payment plans available. So what are you waiting for? Visit creditrepairfolks.com today.
Our coaching did a horrible job. The players did a horrible job. We got our ass kicked.
That's the great thing about sports. You play to win. And I don't care if you don't have any win.
All right, y'all. It's time for Mott Sports West, where we talk about God's favorite teams, the Lakers, Dodgers, and Rams. Lakers, Dodgers, and Rams. So let's get it. All right, Rams news. Rams left tackle Alaric Jackson was arrested for felony felony domestic battery on Monday. Apparently, he was trying to stop a woman from videoing him on her phone and left scratch marks on her arm, hand. He bailed out at $50,000, and he is scheduled to appear in court in LA on June the 30th. Alark also had a similar situation in 2025 that earned him a 2-game suspension by the NFL. So we'll see what happens with this new case, and with the Rams trying to have a stacked team ready for a Super Bowl win, what that's going to do on their offensive line. The Lakers. Austin Reeves is expecting a max deal, y'all. In an article by Dan Wojcicki of The Athletic, he paints the picture of how Austin's team basically constructed his career path so that he could go to the Lakers and basically get to this day where he could be a major part of the Lakers roster and demand a max salary. He is expected to command a yearly salary of $40 million. Will the Lakers pay that? Do the Lakers want him? I know Luka Doncic wants him back pretty bad. I know the Lakers do want him back pretty bad, but with his defensive liability and, maybe we didn't get the full Austin Reeves, so we don't know what he is in the playoffs because of that oblique injury that he rushed back from. We don't know. Who knows? Dodgers lost to the White Sox last night 8-2 in game 1 of a 3-game series. They play again today at 1:10 p.m. So you can check that out. White Sox are doing pretty good. Now let's check out what you watching. All right. So I've been mainly checking out 2 things because that's all I've had time for, and that's Spider Noir, and of course I've been staying on top of the NBA playoffs. So Spider Noir, in case you don't know, I'll say it again. If you saw Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the animated movies with Miles Morales, Spider Noir is the gumshoe Dick Tracy looking Spider-Man that's in black and white. His world is basically a black and white movie in the 60s or in the 50s. And so that's what Spider-Man Noir is about. It's about his life and his universe. I'm not going to spoil the plot, but it's pretty much a Nicolas Cage movie, which I don't like. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I am a Nicolas Cage fan, but only when he plays original characters. Like, he can bring an original character to life because you think of that character as Nicolas Cage and only Nicolas Cage. But when he tries to play somebody with an already established character, it's like that character, if that character was Nicolas Cage. I don't know if he makes sense or not, but it's kind of like I'm not watching. Well, the Spider-Man Noir's real name is Ben Reilly, so I'm not watching, like, let's say if I was reading the comics and I was following Spider-Man Noir, instead of watching a movie, somebody play Ben Reilly's Spider-Man, I'd be watching Ben Reilly playing Nicolas Cage. And, there's a brother in it that plays his reporter best friend. And that brother, I don't know his name. I should have got his name before I did the podcast. But he is worth watching the show for. He steals the show. So the brother reporter in there, watch for him because he steals the show. Now, back to the NBA playoffs. It's Game 5. It's tonight. The Knicks have a 3-1 game lead. New York is going crazy. I'm going to say I'm predicting the Spurs to win tonight because a couple things. They're going back to San Antonio, and they got embarrassed the last couple games. And especially the last 2 games, they were like a couple of mistakes away that if they avoided those mistakes, those 1 or 2 mistakes, the game could have gone a different way. They don't want to embarrass Wembanyama. They don't want to embarrass Wemby. They want to see if they can climb back into the series. So I'm picking the Spurs. And also on the Knicks side, the Knicks are probably thinking, they want to finish this off, but they're like, if we don't finish it off on Saturday, then of course we're going to come back to New York and we can finish it in front of our fans. That's what I think the Knicks are thinking. I think the Knicks are thinking, they're saying, let's finish it off tonight. But in the back of their minds, they're saying, well, we always have game 6 in New York in front of our fans. So that's just my my thoughts on it. All right. So this week, I went to Burger King because if you're doing something spicy, you call in Mott's name. So I tried Burger King's loaded jalapeno Whopper. And you could see the review right here. You can see what I thought of it. And I also had an update from my last not so good Jack in the Box experience. So you can check that out. And then next Saturday, come back and check me out on the W.E.S.T podcast. Peace.